Hello guys, not the Ace here, and just gonna be basically a quick review on the blister packaging for Cloud, either Player 1 or Player 2, and why is that sort of? Well, I'm sort of interesting about actually this character design, and I may be a Final Fantasy, well I am a Final Fantasy fan, but my most preference Final Fantasy game is 1, 4, that's 2 in the Super Nintendo, but the real one, 4, all time my favorite one. My all time favorite, the PSP version, been talking about that. 9, maybe 12, and 15, I'm enjoying. Sorry, MMORPG style. 11 or 14, that's the backlog battle, not me. Okay, different story. But I am a Final Fantasy fan. But of course, if you know the history of Final Fantasy VII, is, well, including myself, the reason to get a PlayStation is to play Final Fantasy VII. Yes, it's a mainstream, and from there's the reason why a lot of people love Final Fantasy VII. It's a mainstream. A lot of people were introduced to Final Fantasy because of seven. Because of seven, I would be four for me, but that's just me. And of course, if you know the history of why Cloud is on Smash, because Tetsuya said, or not Tetsuya, excuse me, Tetsuya said, the guy who did the design for some of the Final Fantasy, Sakurai, not Tetsuya. Sakurai basically wanted to have a Final Fantasy character in Smash. So he asked the fans, I think worldwide, maybe just Japan, I don't know, which character do you want for Smash? A Final Fantasy character, one. Of course, judging by the figures or the amiibo, they wanted Cloud. Again, I did talk about it before. It's a big deal because Cloud is actually sort of a PlayStation exclusive Final Fantasy. It wasn't really, you never really seen it in another console, maybe mobile, but it's a different story. And of course, PC, but it came later. But remember, the first time the Final Fantasy VII came for the PlayStation, well, it was published by Sony. So you kind of figure that out. And in PlayStation also Battle Royale, I think the producer for Final Fantasy or Square Enix, I don't know who, basically said, we will not put any Final Fantasy character in that game. They didn't really have confidence with PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale. They didn't want to ruin the reputation of the Final Fantasy. So they said no. And then all suddenly, I guess it's Nintendo, it's Sakurai. They said fine. And there it is. Alright, so that's a little bit of back history of why Cloud. So basically, I'm not going to talk about the figure. That's going to be a different video. Mostly, I want to talk about the blister pack. I did already talk about the backside, but that's not really the main feature of this video. See, same thing, just different one. So first of all, just a little backstory. What's the difference between Player 1 and Player 2? Player 1 is basically based on Final Fantasy VII, the game itself. Of course, there's a remake coming, which who knows when, maybe after Kingdom Hearts 3, per se. So that's basically before, it's Final Fantasy VII. And this one is based on the sequel, which is a movie produced by Sony. Sony produced some good CG movie, Resident Evil, Final Fantasy. And I wouldn't be surprised if they also do some Nintendo CG movies, but as of right now they're doing stupid ones, such as Emoji the movie, and I have heard it's crap. Sir Patrick Stewart as the poop emoji cannot save that movie because it's crap. Moving on. So that's the reason what it is. This was from Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Takes place after, years after the event of Final Fantasy VII. It's a movie, good movie, highly recommended. Watching it, if you have a chance. And of course, there's some spin-off sequel like Dirge of Cerberus, but that's not really a Final Fantasy game. It's more a shooter, different story. So that's basically what Player 2 is. The sword, it's this new version of the Buster Blade. And of course, if you don't know the history of the Buster Blade sword that Cloud is using, another game maybe I highly sort of recommend playing, and I did play it and finish it, and that's Crisis Core, a Final Fantasy prequel, I guess, or prologue. Who knows? You gotta play as Zack. It's a weird Final Fantasy game because it's not your average Final Fantasy game, but the story is really good. It is a backstory that preludes to Final Fantasy VII, and the sword that Cloud has in Player One version definitely has a big history. Again, I know it's a Final Fantasy VII galore, but FYI, tidbits. All right, so moving on from there is basically I want to really look at the CG graphic you see now, and like when I looked at it, like yeah, it does look like a Tetsuya Noyuma, I think that's the name. Apology. He did Final Fantasy, of course. He started with 7, 8, 10, and I think that's it. Of course, Kingdom Hearts, that's also what he did. He has his own styles, and this kind of showed here. Kind of different than Amano, and then I think in 15 was someone else. 13, maybe it's him. I'm not really sure. I know 12 definitely wasn't him. But of course, I'm the designing Dissidia. I think it was also him. So looking at it, like it's actually pretty cool. It does look like something from Final, like like a Noruma, Tetsuya Noyuma. I do apologize. I don't know. I think it's Noyuma, maybe. If I'm not, apologies. But yeah, see, you got Cloud with the earring, the spiky hair, the big sword. Like it does look like it could be the same. Like the model's probably gonna be also look the same in the remake, and of course, played Final Fantasy Dissidia, and of course there's gonna be a new one coming for the PS4, Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. Same thing with this one. I mean, he has to be a little bit older now by that one because, or a bit older. I think it's like a year or two takes place. I think it's a good game, and the thing behind him is that sword is his version of his big sword, and that's actually cool because in the movie, believe it or not, it actually has a built-in second sword, so he has a secondary sword. So, but unfortunately, again, it's not a game; it's a movie. That'll be awesome in the game. Final Fantasy Dissidia, basically, he's based on this one, even if he has an alternate costume. He's still based on the Final Fantasy VII, or maybe a bit post-7. Again, like I said, it's pretty cool. I'm not really a Final Fantasy VII fan. I'm not really fan of Cloud, but what they did here was actually good. Like, whoever did the Smash Brothers design model is pretty good. It has a style of Tetsuya there, so... And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to use him or the same design for Final Fantasy Remake. And of course, Kingdom Hearts, maybe Kingdom Hearts 3. Who knows? Some guy did a custom-made Kingdom Hearts version of Cloud. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, I mean, pretty cool design. No surprise it does look like it has that style. I mean, it's anime-ish, but he has his own style there. Pretty cool. I like the sword behind it. So different video is going to be, I'm going to talk about the figure itself. My thoughts about that one. So yeah, well, that's just my impression of the box design. Like I said, the design there. And a little bit of Final Fantasy VII tidbit. There you go. So with that, thanks for watching.